Well, welcome one and all to the broadcast. We're going to put a Texas Special loaded Fender Pickguard. He ordered it, that was loaded with pickups, and we're going to put that in this guitar right now. Now, there's a couple things I noticed. He shielded the interior of this guitar, but there's one little tiny spot here where the actual shielding overlaps, so it touches the pickguard. And we're going to go ahead and put some more copper tape in here to make sure that we've got a good shielding job done on this. Here is my shielding tape, and we're going to hopefully get this thing done, this part of it done really quickly. I'm going to cut a small piece of tape here. Let's see. I am missing my razor blades. Where are they? Interesting that I can't find them right this minute. Oh, here we go. Okay. So, appreciate everybody tuning in today. This is going to be an interesting stream. And we're going to try and make this really brief. And so that we know we have contact between the ground, the shielding inside the body of this guitar, and the pickguard. We're going to put this piece of tape in here, right? Just to make sure that we know we've got good contact between the pickguard. Now, here's one other thing that I'm going to do, is I'm going to double the thickness of this tape, just to make dang certain that we've got good contact. And another thing that we can do is wrinkle it a little bit, not necessarily put it on perfectly. If we got a little bit of a wrinkle in this stuff like that, I know that that's sticking up a little bit higher than the surface of the paint, obviously, on this one. All right, so now we've got to begin to unsolder the existing pickguard, which is just a couple of solder joints here. So let's get that taken care of. I've got my soldering gun heating up. I got kind of a late start today, had a doctor's appointment. Everything is going good. I like it. Let me see. I'll put this tape back on. Really looking forward to my gig this coming Wednesday. I hope everybody's got good plans for their New Year's Eve celebrations. Now, this guitar does have an extra ground connected to it, and I think I'm going to attach that ground. Let me see, what do we have over in this corner? I want to see how much space I've got. Boy, not a lot. Oh, I have a ton of space right here. So I'm going to drill a hole so I can get this screw placed in there. Find the right size drill bit here. That's a good one. And end up with every tool in the toolbox out on the bench before it's all said and done. Anytime you got to work on a guitar. Now, this guitar does not have a whammy bar. It's a hardtail, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole here. Okay. And now we can place this thing is going to be very, very well grounded. This is probably almost a pointless ground, given it's got so many of them. So there's a wire coming off of the output jack here that is grounded to this pickguard, and we're going to double check that real quick, make sure that connection is solid. So we'll check our continuity. It's amazing how oh geez, come on. Alright, so here we go. So we'll check our yes, no, because there's no connection between here and there. Although when we put the pickguard back on the instrument, or the new pickguard on the instrument, there will be ground between the cavity and everything is grounded successfully. Hello Snooks, hello Joe McGraw, Happy New Year. It's great to see you. Thanks for stopping in today. Alright, I'm gonna get going on this one. I have guitar students. Yesterday I couldn't get a lot of live streaming done because we got really busy here at the shop. Had a lot of folks coming in. I need to tend this soldering gun. Let me get a little solder. Now, the young man who owns this guitar does most of his own guitar work, but he's not very confident with his soldering. So I want to show him a little bit today how to properly solder if you're from Canada or the UK. Alright, and get this connection out of here. Whew, that flicked me a little bit. Okay, so I hope, oh geez, you couldn't even see that probably. So now I've got this output jack with solder on it, right? So what I do with these, because I want to clean the holes out of them, we're going to resolder to them. I take my gun and let's see, heat it up and tap it on my bench, and now we've got that hole clean. It's a great way to do this. Easy. You don't have to use a solder sucker. And now we've got two nice clean holes. We know this output jack works perfectly, so there's no reason to replace that. Alright, so our pickguard, our old pickguard is now off of the guitar. We're going to send this home with him. This young man, I've worked on a lot of his guitars. He's an amazing guitarist slash bass player, and he is one of those guys that thinks ahead. When he pulled his old pickguard, he brought the screws with him. Yeah. This is like literally, I've been doing this my whole life. This is the first time this has ever happened, and I am not kidding. So if you do pull stuff off of your guitar and take it into a tech, take the screws with you. Don't, because he'll charge you for new screws. And now, I mean, unless you want a bunch of extra ones. But that's a really nice move, and I really appreciate him doing that. Very smart. Okay, now we're going to install one of the grounds here. I just drilled a hole for this ground. I'm gonna get you pointed over here at the important stuff. If y'all have paid any attention to my channel, been watching me work on a Marshall amplifier recently, and I am still working on that Marshall amplifier because every time I get it working here on my bench, I go to, now I wish I had my long Phillips drive back. I have a nice long one, my number 2, I don't know where it went. Let me see, but this screwdriver will do it. And I think this young man ordered the pickguard. It's not like snow white or white. It's actually kind of an off-white color, which I really like. I think it's going to look really good on this instrument. Okay, Now we've got our output jack and our ground, so we're going to attach these three ultimately to the output jack terminal, and we'll run these wires through here. This is a really pretty simple project to do. I'm going to wind all these together so I can easily push them through the hole. One of these grounds I could probably cut off. In fact, they're both going to the same location, and so I've got a ground going there. I'm going to go ahead and remove one of these because I don't need it. It's not necessary. So of course these are all going way underneath everything. Let me get this out where I can get a pair of snippers on it and snip that bad boy off. I don't need that one. They're both the same length, so I'm going to cut this one off. There we go. Now we'll have a little bit tidier wiring job on this. And alright, hopefully you can see that. Jeez, my camera guy, he's still, I wish I could get him to stop drinking so much, but I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Used a very small drill bit to drill through here. Okay, I can see it. Let's just go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and snip the tips of these wires. Actually, no, I'm not. Try and wind them together really nice and tight. And then I'm going to try and get these. Sometimes feeding these wires through a little tiny hole is, as we all know, can be tricky. And I can only get these wires to go in there about 1/8 of an inch. The wire drill, the hole drilled through here is just tiny. I'm going to increase the size of that hole with a new drill bit. Let's see. Yeah, I'll be able to go right through there. This will make my job a little bit easier. I need to make my drill bit a little bit longer. Let's see. Be really careful here not to drill through the guitar, right? There we go. Now I can get these wires fed through here, and we'll get them hooked up. Here we go. Alright, so we're almost done with this project. But I wanted to show him how to solder a little bit, and so we want our positive going to the tip. So this is our positive. So this one will go here, and I'm going to tin this wire before I get too far ahead of myself. Okay, so usually if you can, you want to tin the wire, which means just apply a little bit of solder to that wire. And this is going to sit in here in this direction. So I want to, let's see, I want to have it go that direction. And now what we want to do when we're soldering is to heat up both pieces of material, the post or the socket and the wire, so that both get hot enough to melt the solder. That way your solder is being melted by the metal, not the soldering gun. And you notice I went from the back side of that post, so I know that the post was hot enough and the wire was hot enough to melt that. Alright, now we need our two grounds, which are going to go in from the same direction, and getting both of these run through here is going to be a little bit tricky, but let me see, we've got a little bit of rubber here. I'll pull that off. Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday. Mine's been pretty alright today so far. Really looking forward to our gig tomorrow night. I'm gonna have to leave work a little bit early tomorrow for going over and setting up our stage. We are going to be running our own sound tomorrow night, so we'll do our sound check during the day tomorrow. Probably be setting up around 2 o'clock. Alright, so now again we're just touching the wire, and I forgot to tend my you want to tend your soldering gun too. Typically it helps too. Here we go. Just a little bit of solder, that's all it takes. You don't need to get real crazy with the amount of solder that you put on a solder joint. So now all of our grounds are connected. Our ground to the tailpiece is connected, and I'm going to pull these pieces of wire back through a little bit. Got a bit too much wire on this, but that's alright. Let me trim off this little piece. Now I don't like doing this, and you probably couldn't even see that because my camera guy is drunk. Alright, yeah, you couldn't. That was really terrible workmanship or camera work there. Alright, so we're going to cut off a little bit of this, and we're going to snip off a little bit of this one also. You have to be careful cutting a wire after you've soldered it, because you can crack or damage the solder joint that you've made. Alright, so here we go with our output jack. I'm going to put one screw in here. I have some fuses coming in for that Marshall amplifier so that I can officially test it to see if it actually works. And now I'm going to check this guitar to see if the pickguard or the pickups actually work. So let's plug her into our audio interface. Tap these pickups. Yes, I've got signal. Yes, I've got signal. Yep, we're all wired. Good. I don't need to make any noise with it. I don't need to play it. I'm not going to get a chance to play it. Now, one thing I kind of did that was not very smart was I should have made sure the pickguard fit before I soldered that up, because as you can see now I'm faced with having to remove material, which is very, very common on pickguards. They almost never fit. And also the pickguard is sitting way too far this direction, so it's going to be a little bit short here. We're going to remove some material here and off of these sides. So now, having done all of that, I get to undo my work and start over again. But there you go. That's what we do. So you guys have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.